Afternoon, peeps. Good afternoon, everyone. How's everyone doing? Hopefully, you guys are all doing well. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, like, share, subscribe. 2 videos in one day. Don't say I don't give you guys anything. Or it could be a case of I have absolutely nothing to do right now, and I'm a little bit bored because everything starts very, very late over here. Take your pick. Talking about giving you guys stuff, I haven't forgotten my own giveaway. Remember the mic stand, the mic, what you need to power the mic, the boom arm that goes with it as well. I'm going to give all that away when I get back to London. I wanted to give it away when I got to 60,000 subs. I think by the time we get back, we probably would have reached that. I think we're only a couple of hundred away. So yeah, I will give all that away. I'm not quite sure on what the question or how we're going to do it. I'm not quite sure how that's going to work, but I'll think of something between now and then. But yeah, all that will 100% be given away when I get back to London. All right, let's see if there's anything else to quickly talk about before we focus on Ben Whittaker and a Mr. Chris Eubank Jr. Let's talk about this very quickly. Terence Crawford and Teofimo Lopez going back to back on social media. This was interesting. You know what was very interesting? Terence Crawford posted a tweet. What did he say? He said something along the lines of, "You must be stupid if you think that Teofimo Lopez has either better wins than me or a better resume." I can't remember which one it was. The response to that tweet was very interesting. A lot of people, I would say 60 to 70 people, actually said that Teofimo Lopez has got the better wins. Bear in mind, Teofimo Lopez's biggest wins are Vasily Lomachenko, solid win, and Josh Taylor. You look at Terence Crawford, and his biggest wins are Errol Spence. You might say Madrimov now. That's a solid win. Now, let me bring up Crawford's resume, actually. What is Crawford's standout second biggest win? And this isn't a case of who is the better boxer. Obviously, the better boxer is 100% Terence Crawford. I don't even think these guys are going to fight. I think it's just all talk at the moment. There are a couple of weight classes apart, but I don't mind Teofimo Lopez calling out Terence Crawford. If Teofimo Lopez wants to do a double jump, then hey, let him do the double jump. He's very big, by the way, for 140, very, very big. All right, let's quickly look at Terence Crawford's resume. Sean Porter at the time, no. Kell Brook at the time, no. Amir Khan, Jeff Horn, Indongo. Victor Postal was a good win. Victor Postal was unbeaten, and Crawford just embarrassed him. Now, that might be it, you know. It's bigger than Gamboa. I know some people might say Gamboa, because Gamboa at the time, I believe, was unbeaten as well. Ricky Burns away from home, solid. So I think Crawford's got, I think if it's just doing 2 for 2, Loma and Josh is fucking incredible wins, you know, incredible wins. Josh Taylor was unbeaten at the time. I know that he got beat by Jack Cattrall, you know, I think, but on paper he was unbeaten. Those are 2 very, very good wins. But if it's like a body of work, the body of work that Crawford has put together destroys Teofimo Lopez, I think anyway. If you guys don't think that, it'd be very interesting to know what you think. But it was very interesting to see the reaction to Crawford's tweet. I think Crawford put the tweet out assuming everyone would favor him immediately, and a lot of people were siding with Teofimo Lopez. As for them 2 fighting, again, one's a 140-pounder, one's a 154-pounder. That being said, Crawford's a 154-pounder trying to fight a 168-pounder. Look, Crawford's in a position right now where he wants to fight in February. Turkey wants him to fight in February. Who's he going to fight in February? I mean, is it going to be Fundora? I mean, could it be Errol Spence? I mean, Errol Spence is going to come back. Errol Spence right now is linked to Fundora, but could it be Errol Spence? Would anyone want to see that fight? I mean, I don't think it will be Canelo. I really don't think that fight's going to happen. How interested would you be, because of their beef, if you like, in a Crawford Teofimo Lopez fight at a catch weight of 150 pounds? I'll take that. Honestly, I'll take that. I like a fight with a bit of heat to it, and this has got a bit of heat to it, so I would take it. But I can understand how some would shut that down. But I wouldn't mind a catch. I'd be more interested. I know a fight against Fundora would be a big unification fight. Fundora's got 2 belts. I get that, but there's nothing to it, is there? It's just, what is it? I don't know. I'd rather see a fight with a bit of heat. And we know Teofimo Lopez steps up when he needs to step up. We've seen it again. Underdog against Loma, underdog against Josh Taylor. And I thought both of those performances were fantastic. So, yeah, there is a bit of intrigue in that fight. I think so. All right, let's talk Chris Eubank Jr. Ben Whittaker. Look, obviously there's pressure on every single fighter on this card. There has to be an element of pressure. Some have enormous amounts of pressure. Some have very, very little. But I think the pressure on these two is very, very high right now. Very high. Chris Eubank Jr. more so. He's 35. Chris Eubank Jr. is 35. And I've seen a lot of interviews this week with Chris Eubank, a lot of interviews in the last month with Chris Eubank, where he seems to be talking about everyone apart from Kamil Zaramata. You guys might have seen it as well. And look, Chris has been asked the questions, so it's only fair he responds to those questions. But most times when I ask people those questions about who would you like to fight next, they always shut me down and say, no. My focus is on Kamil Zaramata. Once I get past Kamil, then okay, let's start talking about the other opponents. But I've heard Chris quite a lot in the last few weeks mention Terence Crawford, mention Canelo, mention Billy Joe Saunders, mention Lara. Who else did he mention? I don't think he's kind of mentioned Hamza Shiraz, mentioned Conor Benn. He's mentioned about 6 or 7 fighters. And I'm like, I've seen this play out before. And with Chris and Ben, we'll get to Ben in a minute, but with both of them, specifically Chris, I think, it isn't just a case of winning. Like, we're at that stage now where you've got to look really, really good. You've got to look really, really good. Again, some of the names he's calling out, particularly Canelo and Crawford, you can't just get past Kamil Zaramata and get people excited to even think about that fight. You've got to destroy Zaramata. Zaramata, Darren Barker spoke to him yesterday, and he just happened to say that he was basically retired. That he wasn't going to fight again until he got this call. He was a retired fighter. He was done. He was out of the game. That's who Chris is fighting. Chris has got to destroy him. I think Chris will destroy him, but he's got to. He's got to make it look good. That's why I say the pressure's on. When you talk the way Chris and Ben do, I like it. Some don't. You've got to deliver. That's the pressure that comes with talking like that. It's almost like they want to put extra pressure on themselves to perform. And 9 times out of 10, they've delivered. We'll see if Chris delivers the way in which I think he will against Kamil Zaramata. Again, if you want us to get excited about the names, apart from Billy Joe Saunders, I don't know where that nonsense comes from. Billy Joe Saunders is walking around about 230 right now. It's ridiculous. Apart from Billy Joe Saunders, you want us to get excited about those other names, world champions, legends of the sport, you've got to put in a good performance. There are no hiccups. There are no slip-ups. There's nothing. Pressure is on. Pressure is massively on Ben Whittaker as well. Ben Whittaker, by his own admission, didn't perform well against Ezra Aranyeka. I asked him, how would you grade that performance? And he said it was a D. A D. I'm super high on Ben. I am. I think Ben is going to go all the way. I think he has every attribute to go all the way as well. One of the biggest ones being confidence. Self-confidence in this sport takes you a long way. Most of these guys at the top level are good. I mean, he's a very good amateur. We know that, Olympic silver medalist, and so far he's been good as a pro. But his confidence levels are through the roof. And that's why he performs the way he does. Some people don't like it. Some people think it's arrogant. I guess it can be maybe looked at as that, but I find it exciting and entertaining. And it is an entertainment sport after all, right? I mean, it is. Yes, it's a dangerous sport. We all know that, but it's an entertainment sport, and Ben Whittaker entertains. Like Ben Whittaker, this is the platform that he's always wanted, a big platform. He's on the undercard of a big fight. It's a big event. Time to shine. Time to shine. Liam Cameron's been brought in as someone that is sturdy, durable, and tough, but ultimately someone that doesn't have the feet, doesn't have the skill to deal with a Ben Whittaker. He's been brought in to make Ben look really, really good against, and then you can compare, and then what happens is you compare Ben's performance against him to Lyndon Arthur's, and automatically, by default, and it shouldn't work like this, Ben jumps over Lyndon Arthur. That's how it shouldn't work, but that's how it works. So Ben's got to look really, really good as well. Again, Ben is talking a lot. Like, these two talk a lot, Chris and Ben. Again, I'm a fan of it. Talk as much as you want, but you've got to deliver. And hopefully Ben can as well. Like I said to Ben when I spoke to him yesterday, hopefully DAZN put up this interview today. Might as well. Like, why wouldn't they? But I said, like, how far away do you think you are from that British scene? And what I meant by British scene was Aziz, Richards, and then you move on. Willie Hutchinson, then Yard, then what? How far? And he's like, ready now, ready now. So he's ready now. Now being after Liam Cameron, so we're looking at sometime in 2025. So look, again, there's pressure on all of these fighters. There's pressure on all the fights, right? I mean, you don't get much more pressure than fighting for an undisputed, but for these two, there just can't be any hiccups. For Chris, again, Chris at 35, there cannot be any hiccups. For Ben, if we want Ben to be what we think, I think a lot of us think he's going to be, there cannot be a slip up. And this is the pressure of big time boxing. You can't lose. You can lose to, like, Bivol can lose to BETERBIEV can lose to Bivol. Chris cannot lose to Kamil Zaramata. And Ben Whittaker cannot lose to Liam Cameron. He can't. So we'll see how those guys look today, the grand arrivals. I'm leaving in about an hour, so I need to get changed. And we'll see how they look at the media public workout, and then you can kind of gauge where they are. But I'm looking forward to seeing both of these guys do their thing. I think Liam's going to come and bring it. I think Kamil's going to come and bring it. But ultimately, skills pay the bills. And I think these two are just a bit too skillful for those two. Peace.